All right, Cosmic Explorers, get ready because today we're going to do a deep dive into, you guessed it, the first house.
The house of self.
Yeah, also known as the house of the Ascendant. And it's like your astrological calling card, your first impression.
Exactly. It's the lens through which your whole birth chart is expressed.
So it's like foundational.
Absolutely. It shows us the very essence of you, the core of your personality, how you approach life, even your style and physical appearance.
So if I know your first house, I kind of already know you. Yeah.
In a way, yes. It reveals those basic energies that drive your actions and reactions.
Okay, so first impressions, like when you meet someone new.
Yeah.
Is the first house in play there too?
Big time. It governs the image we project to the world, the vibes we give off. It's your outward behavior, your communication style, how you handle new situations.
So it's not just who you are, but how you come across.
Yeah, it's like the cover of a book. Your first house is the cover art, you know? It draws people in. Or maybe makes them hesitate.
I've always been fascinated by temperament. Like, are we born with certain tendencies, or is it all environment? Does the first house offer insight into that?
It totally does. Remember, it's all about those instinctive reactions. So it can show if you're more introverted or extroverted, how you respond to challenges.
Right.
If you love the spotlight or prefer to observe from the sidelines.
So someone with, like, a fiery first house might jump into things, while someone more cautious might hang back.
That's a perfect example. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's about recognizing those inherent tendencies.
Okay, so we've got this core energy in our first house, and that shapes how we present ourselves and how we react to things instinctively.
Right. And that lays the groundwork for understanding who you are, you know, at a deeper level. It's like the starting point for self-discovery.
This could be incredibly valuable for anyone trying to, figure themselves out. But I know there's more to this first house.
Yeah.
What about the influence of, like, planets?
Oh, yeah. The planets add another layer of complexity, you know? Each planet brings its unique energy to the mix, adding depth to your first house expression. Like, each planet is a guest star in your cosmic drama.
Okay, so let's talk planets. I'm picturing this cosmic stage production.
Mm-hmm.
All these different characters bringing their energies to the first house stage.
I like that. So let's say you've got the sun in your first house.
Okay.
You might have this, like, natural magnetism and a desired shine, you know?
So not just being outgoing, but like a drive to express yourself?
Exactly. It's like radiating warmth and vitality, drawing people in.
I can see that.
You might find yourself in leadership roles or creative fields where you can really be you.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the moon? That seems like a totally different vibe for the first house.
The moon in the first house, that often points to someone deeply connected to their emotions,
Yeah.
you know, incredibly intuitive, empathetic.
Like, they can read people easily.
Totally. And the sensitivity extends to their environment, too. They pick up on those energies, which can be a blessing and a curse.
Right.
So finding ways to protect their energy, creating that inner peace, that's key. Yeah.
I've always found Saturn fascinating. It's got that tough love rep. What happens when Saturn's in the first house?
Well, Saturn in the first house, it can bring this gravitas to someone, you know?
Okay.
They might appear more serious, reserved even, but this often comes from a deep sense of responsibility
Oh, I see.
and wanting to do things right.
So not gloomy, more like thoughtful and taking things seriously.
Exactly. They might be drawn to structure, discipline. They really value hard work, integrity. In fact, they often become mentors, guiding figures, inspiring others with that steadiness, wisdom.
Well, that is different from, say, the sun's energy, right?
Right. And that's the thing with the first house, so many ways it can play out.
Yeah.
Depending on those planetary influences, it's about how those energies blend to create your unique you.
So knowing the planets in our first house helps us get our strengths, challenges, even clues to our purpose, maybe.
Absolutely. It's not just about knowing yourself. It's about using that knowledge, navigating the world better, becoming the best you.
I love that. Not just labels, but empowerment,
Exactly. And this brings us to a really important point. The first house, it's not just who you are. It's also a tool for growth.
So how does understanding our first house, help us grow? Is it about changing who we are? Like at our core?
No, not at all. It's more about recognizing your strengths and potential challenges.
Okay.
You can move through life with like more awareness.
I see, I see.
Think of it like you wouldn't force a sunflower to grow in the shade.
Right. Yeah, it's about knowing what makes you tick, creating the right environment to thrive.
Exactly. It's about playing to your strengths, working with your natural tendencies, not against them.
So for someone just starting to explore their birth chart, what's the key takeaway about the first house?
I'd say it's like a roadmap to your authentic self.
Ooh, I like that.
It's about embracing who you are at your core and using that self-awareness to create a life that, truly aligns with your values, your aspirations.
I love that analogy. I bet our listeners are feeling inspired to dive into their own first house journey now.
I hope so. And as they do, I'd leave them with this thought.
Okay.
Knowing the influence of your first house, how can you leverage that energy to step into your power
Ooh, that's good.
and create the life you desire?
Powerful question. It's like taking the cosmic insight and turning it into action.
Yeah.
This is what this deep dive's all about, right?
Absolutely. It's not just knowing your first house. It's about embodying its energy, using it as a guide.
So if anything we've talked about today resonated, go explore your own first house. See what planets are hanging out there.
Yeah.
Connect the dots between your astrological blueprint and your real life.
It's a journey,
It is.
It can lead to some incredible insights,
For sure.
transformations even.
And remember, astrology, it's a language of symbols, possibilities.
It's not about fixed destinies.
Okay.
It's about understanding those energies and how you work with them to create a meaningful, authentic life.
Well said. We'll leave you to contemplate those cosmic mysteries.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of the first house.
Thank you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep looking up at the stars.